Hey there, and welcome to this new video. So today I'll be showing you how you can integrate Trigify with GetSales. So for the ones who don't know, Trigify is basically a social signal tool. It helps you track any possible data happening in LinkedIn, Reddit, and YouTube. So basically what it does is, just to give you some practical use cases, I will show you now. Basically, if I had some profiles that I wanted to monitor, I could essentially monitor people's profiles like this, let's say like some URLs like this, and anybody who likes or comments will automatically populate wherever I want through webhooks. So as we saw in the previous videos, are basically like technology where data could be transported. And let's say I wanted to use a webhook to add a row in Clay, just like I'm doing here. So what I basically did in this case is that if I go into the integration section, I have Clay connected, and this just basically means that I have a webhook link URL, and I just paste it for every person that I'm monitoring. I could have different webhooks for different people based on their target, based on anything. But basically, what happens here is that stuff auto populates. It just builds rows and rows and rows. And what is this and this are basically API calls to GetSales. What this means is that not to show now the API key and everything, but essentially here through the GetSales documentation, let me just get that for you. This is similar to the one that we covered in the WhatsApp in the API video, but essentially here it is perfectly explained. So basically, I can API call through tools like Clay, N8N, practically anything, and I can add leads to automations. So let's say that in this specific case, I'm add a new contact to an automation. This is what I'm doing. I use this one and not add contact to automation because it's a contact that is currently not in GetSales. So I'm basically creating a new lead and putting it in the campaign. Now, they require you some stuff. Basically, they require you the flow UUID, which is essentially no more than the ID here at the top of the automation. And then you just have to look at the required fields. The whole, let's say, body is required, but in general, the only piece that is important is the LinkedIn ID. So if you're in Clay, this is very easy because you could just basically output anything that is after the slash. So like here I have a formula in Clay that just extracts everything for me. I'm just trying to find it. There it is, LinkedIn username, and it just basically just cuts the piece that I only need for the API call. And then moving back to documentation, the rest of the stuff, just the list UUID is fundamental. This actually requires you to create a list beforehand. So if I go on lists, I could get the UUID just by pressing the three dots and just copy list ID. So having those three fields practically makes me do API calls directly to GetSales. So now moving back to Trigify, once I have these webhooks connected, I automatically, like while I sleep, the Clay table gets populated, enrichments happen, I could filter, and then they just go to GetSales through the automation. Now, other things that Trigify can do are listening, which I like to kind of call it like Google, let's say. So if I like look for GetSales, there are 142 posts anytime. So now let's just go in the past month, and there's like 4 posts, okay? Now, here what we could do is basically you can also filter for sentiment. You can filter for platform. The business network is basically LinkedIn. So we could do this, and we can also go directly on the post, view post, and here you go. And as you can see, GetSales has been mentioned. Another thing you could do is you can't like or comment because you would need to go to the post and then do it. But apart from that, this is very helpful just to get a better understanding of what the market is saying about specific keywords. Then actually the 2 strong ones in terms of functionalities are keyword engagement, which is basically getting all the people that interact with, I would say, LinkedIn automation. Just find this. And 160 people interacted with at least one piece of content in 7 days. You can also extend that. Usually 7 days is the best. Now, what you can do is you can filter by everything, just for you to get a better understanding of, just to try to fit it better to your ICP, basically. Now, influencers, on the other hand, is the reverse. The topic you will get is based on the creator that is posting about that topic. So if I go on LinkedIn automation, here I will find a list of creators that have posted about LinkedIn automation within the last 7 days. And I'm also there. Here I am. So yeah, and then here you could press this and basically get those people onto, you could save to or to a new list, or add to profile engagement. Basically makes you track anybody who interacts with them. The list functionality is very cool because you can create lists and then export them to CSV. So let's say that I want to go back to LinkedIn automation. I'll get all these people, save to, add new list. I'll just create list and just call it LinkedIn automation fans. Then source people. Yep. And then I just test. And I just create list. Now what will happen is a list is created and then you can export it. It is generating. It takes a bit of time. But then the final step to this is basically exporting it. And then in GetSales, you can create yourself a brand new list just by importing. So you go on imports and then you can CSV and then just say import contacts. And then you can drag and drop the file you just made from Trigify. And yeah, so that basically covers it. Here we are. So let's actually just do that. Let's just do export to CSV. Now we have it. Now the final piece to the whole mix, let's just import contacts. Let's just drag it. And now we have it. Let's just create a list called Trigify. Add item. You could add tags, you could do whatever, but then here is important you map the fields. As you can see also from previous videos, if you want to create any custom fields, you can, and then just create import. And now import it, and the processes are pretty much the same as what we covered in our previous videos in order to create a campaign and to start from there. This, of course, requires you manually to build a list because it is not automatic, but if you were to rely on a tool like Clay, your list would automatically populate, which is really cool. So for me, this is all. I just thank you very much for staying until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.